topics and opinions expressed in the following show are solely those of the host and their guests and not those of W4CY Radio, its employees, or affiliates. We make no recommendations or endorsements for radio show programs, services, or products mentioned on air or on our web. No liability, explicit or implied, shall be extended to W4CY Radio or its employees or affiliates. Any questions or comments should be directed to those show hosts. Thank you for choosing W4CY Radio.
Welcome to the Camping Show. I'm C.W. Getz.
And I'm Bianca Cahew. Good evening. It's Wednesday, June 8th, and I'm not really sure what the degrees is outside right now.
I think, you know what, I have a 68.
There's a chance it could be raining as well in our neck of the woods.
Yeah. I have a 68 out here in Club Dubs, or in the blow zone, as I like to call it. Yeah. Hey, can you tell I pulled this shirt right out of the hamper? Actually, it's not quite that bad.
Oh my God. I pulled this one out of the laundry about like 10 minutes ago.
That's exactly what I did. And
you and I are on the same wavelength.
We are. We're both terrible. You know, I usually hang these shirts up because it just leaves them less wrinkly, and I'm like scrambling around, jump in the shower. And as I'm going to throw it in the dryer, see if that works. Well, it really didn't. But, you know, it is a little wrinkly, but better than bareback.
I don't think you can really tell on a computer screen or a cell phone screen.
I'm hoping you're right.
Hopefully.
Absolutely. Aren't we?
Comment if you can. Comment if you can see the wrinkles in our shirt tonight.
Yes. Because then we'll know for next time that maybe we'll just put on other shirt. Or we'll just go, whatever.
We might need better grooming. We don't know.
Yeah. Aren't we terrible? Yeah. Anyway, but we're here. That's the most important thing,
Absolutely.
Right? Yeah. Well, tonight's episode is brought to you by
Campground Views, making camping easier.
By Rutabaga Paddle Sports, providing time on the water.
By Novacraft Canoe, connecting with nature since 1970.
And I have to apologize to you. I messed that up, and this was because I still am suffering from jet lag coming back from Florida, this trip in Florida. So my apologies to my co-host. So pardon me. I'll do better next time, promise. Tonight's episode is a passion that exploded with our special guest, Nick Gordon. Bianca, could you tell us a little bit about Nick, please?
Yeah, definitely. Nick Gordon, aka Nick of the Woods, is the owner and lead guide at the Wisconsin-based company Now Outdoors, where he leads trips on land and water, both here in the Midwest and abroad. At 34, Nick has been helping people gain more skills, more knowledge, and more confidence outdoors since 2010. He also operates the largest outdoor meet community in Wisconsin with over 12,000 members and brings people together from across the region for backpacking trips, canoeing, and cold weather expeditions. Nick is recognized as an expert in the region when it comes to cold weather camping and routinely presents on TV, radio, and at local events. Nick has been an expert presenter at Canoecopia, the Winter Camping Symposium, and the International Bushcraft Symposium, and has been featured multiple times on the Hang Your Own Hang podcast, Dan Small Outdoor Radio, and in local newspapers. In addition to guiding, Nick is a wilderness EMT and teaches adventure recreational courses at UW Milwaukee and certification courses for the Solo School of Wilderness Medicine, Emergency Care and Safety Institute, and the American Heart Association. Nick, thanks so much for being on with us.
Welcome to the show, Nick.
Hey, thanks for having me. This is great.
There. We had a little technical thing I could see going on in the background here, and I'm like, okay, man, did we lose him? We got him. Glad to see you here, Nick. Hey, by the way, where is your weather? How is your weather? Where is your weather? Yes, where is it? In Wisconsin, how is your weather this evening?
Southeast Wisconsin, it's been raining all day today. I don't know, pretty comfortable outside. I just got back as well about 24 hours ago from Peru, where it was a lot colder, a lot drier. So,
nice.
But yeah, no, things are green here.
Well, I can say Peru is probably a step up above Florida, where I was at. So good for you, Nick. Good for you. Glad to have you here, by the way.
Thanks. Glad to be here.
Yes, sir. Your passion for the outdoors took you in a direction that exploded into a huge opportunity. Not only for yourself, but for a number of other outdoor enthusiasts. How did that all get started, by the way?
That's a great question. Yeah, I think it started back in college. I actually started Now Outdoors when I was still attending UW Milwaukee. I've always been an outdoor enthusiast since I was a kid. I did the scouting thing. We had a family cabin up north. So as a kid, I spent a lot of time in the woods paddling and fishing and chopping firewood, stuff like that. Somewhere mid-college, I kind of got back into it. I was actually a TA for 3 years during my college career with helping out with a lot of outdoor programs. And so I got a lot of experience kind of sharing what I know with other people, other students and things like that, and really fell in love with it. So I started now outdoors, and it's kind of grown over the years. 2015 is when I think it really started to blow up. I had a job with the DNR as a educator in Milwaukee, so Lakeshore State Park. They get tons of people every day, thousands during the summertime, dog walkers, bikers, people going to see the local prairie. And I was asked to bring my programs to the park and teach these short workshops. And I got this bit of a following in the city. And so I started a Meetup community website just to kind of advertise our programs. And things really took off. We were one of the fastest growing outdoor meetup communities in the whole country for over a year.
Nice.
So yeah, it was kind of a cool platform. People were able to find out about the programs, backpacking workshops and survival discussions and bonfire socials and stuff like that. But this community formed, and I just kind of built off of that. About 5 years ago, 2017, we did our first international trips.
Wow.
We started going to Nepal, and we've done trips in Canada and Peru and the Amazon jungle and things like that. So I just got back from Peru, as I said, about 24 hours ago. I was out there for 2 weeks with about 20 people all together. But most of my stuff is pretty local here. It's been a lot of fun.
Nick, how do you get to the point where you say, okay, I've got a meetup group and I've got all these people, right? And to say, hey, I'm going to start a full-fledged business. I'm going to go into business tomorrow or whatever next week, and we're going to do it this. I mean, how much do you have to drink before you get to that point? Say, hey, pull the trigger, right?
It takes a lot. I started outdoors before I had the Meetup. The Meetup was the first sort of way that I started to really advertise my stuff,
right,
aside from just word of mouth. And that's where things really started to pick up. I mean, I'd always worked multiple jobs, kind of day jobs and odd jobs and things like that. I worked for DNR nature centers and schools and tried different outdoor programs, wilderness therapy, different things like that. And I, over the years, I kind of decided what my favorite type of outdoor activities were.
Yeah.
I love working with adults. I love, teaching skills. I like the educational side of what I do. And so all of a sudden, the demand was really high, and I kept having to call in sick and take weekends off. I mean, I would go to apply for jobs, and I'd tell them, hey, just so you know, I'm never going to work a Friday or a weekend because I've got this thing that I do, this passion of mine, that this little baby business that I've been at it for a long time.
Nice.
And eventually you have to go all in. I mean, I imagine similar for any kind of business. You have to make a decision at some point that it's either all in or a side hustle. Yeah. And, if you're going to make it your business, you got to put everything you got into it.
I tried that with my last job. I'm not going to be there on this day and this day. Yeah, that pretty much didn't work out for me. I'm glad it did for you.
Yeah.
Well, he's his own boss now, so
yeah,
it makes
absolutely.
sense. So, Nick, being your own boss, what types of things are you able to offer adventurers?
Oh boy. I try to stick to things that I find really exciting. I like to mix it up a little bit too. We do stuff all summer long, all winter long. So I love backpacking. I love canoeing. So we've got our fleet of canoes. We do backpacking trips. We do, a lot of weekend stuff. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, short trips. Then we've got a couple of longer trips too. But we've got our trips. We also do workshops. We'll do wilderness first aid training. We'll do backpacking workshops, which are usually a 2-day, maybe a 3-day event. Our winter workshop we do twice a year, December and February, and it's been a 2-day event. This year we're going to shoot for 3 days. We're getting anywhere from 40 to our last one we had 60 people signed up initially. And it's a workshop where anybody with any level of cold weather camping background can show up and learn everything they need to know to get into it. We've done beginner paddle workshops and trips. So we have different levels of these sorts of things for different types of folks. And then the international trips, we do a couple of those a year. They're super fun. They're for folks that are typically more experienced backpackers, paddlers that want to get out and really challenge themselves. So, yeah.
Very cool.
Hey, Nick, let me ask you a question. How are each of those constructed, by the way? I mean, how are they put together?
As far as okay, so
yeah, how are each of one of them structured? How do you how are they set? Here's what we're going to be doing for this one. Here's what we're doing for this program.
Sure.
Yeah.
So typically a workshop is open to anybody. The goal of a workshop is to get people that want to try something new out there, get them the hard skills that they're going to need to go out there and do it on their own, or to do one of our more advanced trips. So a workshop, say for backpacking, we're going to talk about how to load backpacks, how to pitch tents, how to do campfire safety. We'll talk about camping food, all those sorts of things. A typical backpacking trip, you're going to get a gear list, you're going to get directions to where we're going to meet, and then once we get there, we'll do a little bit of a gear shakedown. We will usually shuttle out to our start location, and then we spend the weekend backpacking. Depending on the group, we might do a few extra miles, a few less miles, depending on weather, things like that. And so those 3-day trips, our goal is to get people more skills, more knowledge out there, and more experience. And so if they might come back for another similar trip, or they might come back for a more advanced trip down the road.
Nick, are they bringing any of their own gear, or is this all? I mean, are all of their own gear? I mean, or is anything supplied? Do you ever rent things out to your people?
Yeah, most of the past 12 years, people typically bring their own stuff. Over the years, the past 7 years, we've been providing more and more gear for people. At this point, we can fully outfit folks with whatever they need. We've got piles of backpacks for men and women. We've got headlamps and just all trekking poles, all sorts of stuff. We also just recently, about a month ago, we got a whole pile of brand new Superior Gear hammocks, the full bundle. So instead of renting out tents, because tents over the years they break down, they've got some issues and things like that, and so we've made a full switch to hammock camping. So if anybody wants to rent a shelter, it's a fully outfitted camping hammock for whatever type of weather we're going into. We also provide water filtration. So in the past, people can still bring their own water filters if they want. What we found is that a lot of people were, especially beginners, they don't necessarily know what they need to spend their money on for water filtration or cooking equipment. And we found that we could provide usually better food for less money if we just did it ourselves. So instead of having 18 backpackers with 18 stoves with 18 things going on, we provide group water filtration at camp and on the trail. And then I do all the meals as well for everybody. So 3 meals a day. People can bring snacks and stuff like that, but they don't have to worry about bringing a stove and water filtration. Instead, I'll divvy up our group gear and divide it among the people coming out. So everybody carries a little bit of something for the group.
Right. Yeah. That's a good way to go. It's a good way to go.
Gotcha. And when you're camping, is it all year round, or is there a set season that you do some of your camping trips? Because I know you mentioned you even do winter workshops, so you operate all year round then, correct?
Yeah. Right now, this is a really nice time of year. We're just getting in the bug season. Like I said, I've been in Peru.
Yeah.
I've seen the videos, and the black flies are coming out now.
Yeah.
I've seen the boundary water pictures. But yeah, right now, I mean, this is a kicking off to the high season. We've got a backpacking trip coming up, paddle trips. July, or peak bug season, is always kind of fun deciding what we want to do.
Do you hand out the nets, or do you make everybody bring their own nets? They had nets.
It's on the gear list. I always have about 6 or 7 extra.
There you go.
Just because, yep. On some of our trips too, if they're kind of far away, like boundary waters, I mean, I'll bring a bottle of permethrin and we can spray clothes and stuff the night before. Nice. I try to help people out, especially these summer months are tough up there.
Bianca, have you ever experienced black flies? Have you ever had those? You know what black flies are, right?
I don't think so. Don't sound like regular flies.
Wait till you get a load of that. Nick, tell her about black flies. There's something.
A week before I left for Peru, I had a group of 27 out for a canoe weekend, and the black flies had just come out in northern Wisconsin. I think there was ice on the lake just 10 days prior, and the black flies were out. I came home that Sunday night, and my legs were hot and swollen and welts all up and down.
Oh yeah, yeah.
They're out.
Flies. I don't know if it's like they can smell certain blood or skin or whatever it is, maybe a certain scent on a human, but they always go for him. And I'm telling you, after a float trip, he'll come back with like $50 size
Welts.
Yeah.
Or his arm one time swole up the size of a golf ball in the back. It's crazy, these flies. I don't know if it was a black fly, a blue fly, I don't know, but I mean,
These little black flies. These are crazy. They will go in your eyes, in your ears, and your nose, and they'll get in the collars of the sleeves of your shirt. They will.
Oh, that's aggressive.
Well, they're wicked. Yeah, they're not like regular flies. These are like regular flies on steroids. Am I right, Nick?
Yeah, not your average flies.
Yeah, even in the hot summer months, I'll have long shirt, a bug shirt on, long pants.
Oh yeah.
I don't mind the heat if keep the flies off. And then around your head, you might have seen people sometimes they'll put a duct tape on backwards over a hat or something. The flies will stick to the duct tape. At the end of the day, you can throw that tape in the fire and watch them all burn.
Watch them burn.
Yeah.
Well, it sounds so much
I love it. I love it. Oh, that's great.
A walking fly trap.
Yeah, absolutely. They're wicked.
All right. Well, stick around with us. We're going to call a break right now, but we'll be right back with more of the camping show right here at Talk 4 TV.
It's time to go camping. Introducing Campground Views virtual tours. You can tour the campground, see the sites, see if they are available, and click to book your perfect spot. Hit the open road and explore the amazing places found in nature. We make it easy to discover, find, and book your site so that you can go have the fun and freedom you seek. Campground Views virtual tours make it easy and simple for you to see where you are going.
A few years ago, someone asked Rutabaga's owner, Darren Bush, "Hey, how long have you guys been selling boats?" Darren replied, "We don't sell boats. We sell time on the water." Of course, that comes in all types. We help people paddle more safely with Rutabaga outdoor programs. We rent canoes, kayaks, and stand-up paddleboards. We sell and install racks to get you from home to adventure. Rutobaga's got everything you need to get you out on the water, like paddles, life jackets, dry bags, and clothing. Rutabaga Paddle Sports, on the web at rutabaga.com. Mention you saw this ad on the camping show.
There's nothing like being out there. For over 50 years, we've been connecting people with nature by building classic Canadian canoe designs using the best materials available. We built a reputation on durable, dependable canoes that allow you to focus on what's important, whether that's unplugging in remote wilderness, spending quality time with your favorite people, or nailing the perfect line. Visit novacraft.com to find the perfect canoe for you and locate your nearest authorized dealer.
And we're back on the camping show with our guest, Nick Gordon. Nick, how much can adventurers expect to pay for these programs that you offer?
In the grand scheme of things, our programs are a little bit less than a lot of others. Backpacking trips are running between maybe $250 and $325 for a weekend. Includes just about everything, including your
Very
meals.
affordable. Yeah.
Yep.
Nobody's mortgaging their house or anything like that to go on these trips, right?
No. It is exciting. We get people that come back again and again and again. I've got some people that have been on 30, 40 trips.
Whoa. Wow.
We've got, our 7 to 10 day paddle trips start about $1,100. Our international trips are under $3,000. 2 weeks in our upcoming Nepal trip, 2 weeks in the Himalayas for base camp is $2,300. Yeah. So very doable. Yep.
So cool. And with trips like that, it's so hard to put a dollar sign when it comes to that, because it's just a unique and incredible experience. It's nothing that you can compare it to. So it's worth it either way to me.
Yeah, I find some of these big mountain trips very humbling. I
Yeah.
had somebody this past week. They said that their life is better because of their experience in Peru. So
Wow.
it's a different kind of trip.
Yeah, it just opens
Yeah,
your mind, your eyes to just things that you've never seen before, and you just feel so kind of gracious to be in the midst of all that, and you feel like, wow, I'm just really lucky. I've had similar feelings in up in the Rocky Mountains, and just like, man, it's like you feel so close to the heavens, and it feels great. It can
yeah.
be
When
spiritual.
Yeah, my kids are 2, 5, and 7, and two of them have tablets. They can see the whole world right here in front of their hands.
Yeah.
But when you're out there in the mountains and you're tent camping at 15,000 feet, I mean, you feel this big when
Yeah.
you're out there, and it makes the world feel like a big place again. And
Yeah,
I think that's really amazing. Yeah.
absolutely.
Very cool.
And what would you say sets your company apart from other outdoor adventure companies besides the low cost trips?
Yeah, I think the big thing with Now Outdoors that sets us apart is we really focus a lot on the outdoor community and getting people together. So when people come out on our trips, they're not usually looking for like a once a summer vacation. We're not trying to sell a vacation. We're trying to sell a program where you can come out and gain good skills, good knowledge, and more confidence to be outdoors. So we get young parents that want to take their kids out, and they want to make sure their kids have a good time. Because if kids have a terrible time, parents have a terrible time. So they want, we get hunters that maybe they don't want to carry 120 pounds of gear out into their spot in the woods. They want to find lighter ways of doing it. So they come out on some of our trips, learn a few new skills, and they can get out there more efficiently with less equipment. We really want people to come out of our programs just as better stewards of the land and more skills to get out there and do what they love to do.
Nick, you and I were also talking about your custom meals. You started making meals for people, little by little by little, for your expeditions, of course. And you've been doing that for the past few years. Tell me more about that. Tell us all more about that, if you can, how that got started.
Yeah. So I love to cook a lot. I don't mind slaving over a stove all day long, all weekend
Wow.
long. I absolutely love it. I love
You hear
when,
that,
when we're out in
ladies?
the woods.
This guy will
Yeah,
cook for
well,
you.
I heard it first and probably the last time ever, but
Yeah. It's another passion of mine. When I travel, I love different foods from different places. I like to mix things up. I have had people in the past come out and live on Ritz crackers for a weekend, and I mean,
Oh, wow.
you could do that. I mean, I got buddies that are through hikers, and they'll eat Snicker bars and Ramen Bombs. Have you ever had a Ramen Bomb? Do you know what that
What
is?
is a Ramen bomb? What is that?
Oof.
Can
A
you have it with
Ramen
Heineken?
Bomb. Oof.
Oof.
I don't know. That's
Do
it's
explain
a
this. Oof.
If I had the Ritz crackers, you're going to have to throw some beer in there because I don't think I could just do the Ritz. Yeah.
Yeah, a ramen bomb is basically a pack or 2 packets of ramen soup with instant mashed potatoes. It is a carb pile. Yeah, there's a lot of people eating a lot of interesting things on the trail. I'll leave it at that.
Interesting.
And there's some of us that eat to live and some live to eat, and that whole conversation. And I just thought, I think food can be done better. I mean, we've all had good food on the trail, maybe over a cast iron skillet, maybe something in a Dutch oven, stuff that you would never take backpacking. And I thought, I think I can do better.
Yeah.
And also, a lot of people over the years, they tell me that planning the food for their trip is the most stressful part of camping. They'll spend $200 for a 3-day trip and then not eat half of their food. So I decided
I can agree with that, Nick. I think
Yeah.
that the food thing is really the toughest, and not if it's just you, because you know what you can tolerate, you know what you can handle. But if you are packing for a group, doesn't that add a little element of, something? I hope this is going to fly.
Yeah, if you make really good food, people are going to eat it. And I used to joke.
And you're confident.
Yeah, I'm sure you might have heard this too. People joke that, well, if the weather's bad, if the miles are high, if it's a really tough day, anything tastes great. Hot dog could be taste as good as filet mignon. Well, I've made filet mignon on some of our trips, and it definitely tastes better than hot dogs. There was a paddle trip where we spent the night on an island, and I made filet mignons. We found some wild asparagus, cooked it up over the fire. It was fantastic.
What an experience.
Yeah, no.
Hey, Nick, you want to go camping?
That's great camping right there.
Yeah. Nick, you want to go camping with us? You're going to cook like
Let's go. Let's go. So,
Chef Nick Gordon.
Yeah.
so
Watch
what
out, Gordon
happened
Ramsay.
So over this past year, when a little over a year ago, I decided to invest in a couple commercial freeze dryers. So one of the issues I had is my menu is as big as it was. I'm still trying to make lightweight food, so I was dehydrating tons and tons of meals, and I was running multiple dehydrators, 10 trays high in my house all summer long. It was hot, cost a lot of money. It took a while to rehydrate stuff, but I was limited with my menu because there's some things you just can't dehydrate. Creams, cheeses, dairy, things like that don't really work. I was looking for a way. I was looking for a way to expand my menu, so I decided to kind of throw in all that I got. I got a couple of large freeze dryers, and so I can really do just about anything. And what that has allowed me to do is expand my menu. And I can customize any menu. So if I've got somebody who says, "Hey, I'm vegan, I'm gluten free, I don't eat food that starts with the letter, L," like whatever it is, I can customize anything.
Yeah.
And when I tell people that, "Hey, by the way, whatever your diet is, let me know if there's any issues, and I got you covered."
Now,
People seem to like that.
Do they get charged extra for if it was something custom that they need? Do they have to worry about, there's this upcharge of
No, if you come out and you say that you only eat filet mignons, I might have to charge a little extra. But no, I just when people register for a trip, they just let me know if there's any special dietary restrictions, and we make it happen. In Peru, even overseas, we can accommodate any diet, and I love it. So yeah, in fact, right now I'm actually preparing meals for a major kayak expedition. When I was at Canoecopia as a presenter this past March, another presenter, Tracy Martin, reached out to me and asked me about possibly helping her with some meals for one of her big trips. She was looking for an anti-inflammatory type diet for her paddling. And so I said, "Well, absolutely, let me help you out." And a few weeks later, she calls me up and says, "Hey, by the way, I just got invited to join Freya Hofmeister on her circumnavigation of all of North America."
Nice.
So she'll be joining Freya for a couple months this summer, and part of her job is to provide dinner for Freya and their other paddlers. So now she has a special diet the other ladies don't. So now I'm making meals for the whole crew.
Wow.
So I'm working with Tracy's diet and then the other ladies. And here's the thing is, one of the issues with backpacking meals that I've always been focused on is the calorie count.
Yeah.
Our meals are 1,100 to 1,800 calories for backpacking. Our winter trips, we'll do dinners that are 2,400 calories.
Oh.
So I'm able to produce, a single 2-cup serving of, maybe it's my barbecue spaghetti or, a cauliflower macaroni cheese thing, but these are, more than 1,000 calories per serving. And so for the expeditions, for the people that need those high calorie meals, I've got this huge variety of options now. Yeah. So it's kind of exciting.
Nick, I want to hear more about this barbecue spaghetti. We'll be right back. Stick around after the break. More of the camping show here with our guest, Nick Gordon, on Talk 4 TV and W4CY Radio.
It's time to go camping. Introducing Campground View's virtual tours. You can tour the campground, see the sights, see if they are available, and click to book your perfect spot. Hit the open road and explore the amazing places found in nature. We make it easy to discover, find, and book your site so that you can go have the fun and freedom you seek. Campground View's virtual tours make it easy and simple for you to see where you are going.
A few years ago, someone asked Rutabaga's owner, Darren Bush, "Hey, how long have you guys been selling boats?" Darren replied, "We don't sell boats. We sell time on the water." Of course, that comes in all types. We help people paddle more safely with Rutabaga outdoor programs. We rent canoes, kayaks, and stand-up paddleboards. We sell and install racks to get you from home to adventure. Rutabaga's got everything you need to get you out on the water, like paddles, life jackets, dry bags, and clothing. Rutabaga Paddle Sports, on the web at rutabaga.com. Mention you saw this ad on the camping show.
There's nothing like being out there. For over 50 years, we've been connecting people with nature by building classic Canadian canoe designs using the best materials available. We built a reputation on durable, dependable canoes that allow you to focus on what's important, whether that's unplugging in remote wilderness, spending quality time with your favorite people, or nailing the perfect line. Visit novacraft.com to find the perfect canoe for you and locate your nearest authorized dealer.
And we're back on the camping show with our guest, Nick Gordon. Roxy, could we have you for a few photos up here that Nick sent us, and we'll have him tell us a little bit about each one of them. There we go. What we got here, Nick?
That
is Cayosangate Mountain in Peru. That's where we just finished up hiking last week. We basically hike all around Ausangate Mountain, and it's the largest mountain in the Cusco region, about 21,000 feet high. And so we hike around the base. Most nights we're tent camping over 15,000 feet. It's gorgeous out there. Yeah.
Oh my goodness. And
Yeah,
what's
that's
the
also
weather like. What can
what's
you
that?
expect on like an average day during that time?
On that particular hike. Well, if you're me, t-shirt and maybe shorts. If you're most other folks, you're going to have a midweight base layer on. It's windy, usually pretty windy out there. The only thing louder than the wind is usually your breathing. The air is almost 50% less saturated at that altitude.
Wow.
That photo is about a little over 16,000 feet. So
You ever
it's-
get any
it's,
nosebleeds up there when you're sleeping at night, not at high?
yeah, a lot of people get nosebleeds. Sometimes
Yeah.
people get like sleep apnea. People,
Yeah,
a
wow.
couple ladies on the trips, said that they'd doze off, and a second later they'd wake up, kind of like clawing their sleeping bag off
Gasping
of their
for air.
face
Oh, wow.
because your breathing slows down and the air is it's so thin. I mean, so one of our games up there that we just like to do just for fun is we have a pulse oximeter, and we pass it around sometimes just to see who's got the lowest pulse ox. And I mean, we're
die first.
I mean, if you're in
That's
the
a
city,
drinking
at
game I've
home-
never done, Nick. I've never
Yeah.
done.
Yeah.
Something
So
new.
if you're at home and your pulse ox under 93, they might give you oxygen at the hospital.
Oh,
Out there, we're looking at 86, 81,
Oh, my
78. So we see who gets the lowest number, and
You win.
you
Man,
win a
yeah,
free
yeah.
pass.
Lowest number, and you like
Maybe you
really
win a-
hardcore, man.
maybe you win a chocolate bar, or maybe a shot of Pisco or something.
Or
you
some
know.
CPR or something like that, maybe. Yeah.
Yeah, but a lot of us, your resting heart rate when you're just standing around might be 90 to 100 at the really high altitude, just because your body's trying to make it work.
Yeah,
So,
exactly.
if your heart is pumping that fast, technically, would you be then burning more calories during the hike?
Absolutely, yep.
Oh,
And
impressive.
our meals in those mountain trips, 3-course meals, 3 times a day.
And
Snacks.
it's nice that you're the one that's making these meals, because you're experienced in all of these aspects of hiking and stuff, so what types of food to make in different environments and different conditions and things like that.
So actually, in Peru, I've got a team of locals that I work with. I'm partnered down there with some fantastic folks, and we actually have chefs. I bring on Ausangate. We had 3 chefs. We had 4 for Inca Trail. So they are masters in the mountains and masters of local food, and they're whipping up things. There's a lot of potatoes and rice and quinoa. Those are kind of the staples, but they'll whip up chicken, pork, ceviche on the fresh on the trail. We eat really good on that trip. So, but I can't take the credit. They do it all down there.
But it's nice, because then everybody gets a little bit of a taste of Peru then. So it's
a big part of that
really
trip is
bringing the full trip, in full circle. So That's
Yeah, a
awesome.
big part of my Peru trip is the culture. There's a lot of history during our hike, and a lot of just learning about their culture, their food, their customs, things like that. Yeah. Also, Peru. One of the things with that trip too is we use very high quality gear. Those are some of the best tents you'll see on the trail out there. It's just I'm a stickler for quality. Years ago, a buddy of mine introduced me to that phrase "buy once, cry once," and so I'd rather take things slow and get the best stuff that we can get at the time. So those are really solid tents. That's an igloo. That's a little different. Let's see. That was a couple years ago, northern Wisconsin. The girl in that photograph, she flew to Madison from Paris she was a study abroad student. She's in Wisconsin for 4 days, and she posts on Facebook, "Hey, I hear there's a lot of wilderness here in Wisconsin. Where do I go to find it? I brought my winter gear. What do I do?" People say, "Oh, you got to find Nick. You got to find this guy, Nick." So she finds me online and messages me, and 2 days later, we're up north building an igloo. So she came ready to go. So I said, let's make it happen. This is
what a group. Look at this.
Yeah, those are it's 27 individuals.
Wow.
That I took to Everest Base Camp in 2017. That was a big group.
Wow.
And they all made it. They all did a great job up there.
Yeah. Pine Martin just popped in. Igloo Camping rocks. He is a big igloo builder.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. That is very cool.
That's awesome. And Nick, what direction do you see things moving as you continue with what you're currently doing?
Well, over the last several years, I've been investing a lot of assets, gear, canoes, the winter stuff to be able to do more. Our groups have been getting bigger and bigger, and we're trying to expand our team a little bit. So I've got a growing team behind me. We're trying to get some new guides and on board to help just do more trips. So I've got a few people right now from northern Wisconsin, even upper Michigan, who are very qualified, fantastic outdoor trip leaders. And so we're trying to get them on board just to be able to offer a little bit more. I'm only one person and I can only do so much. We've had backpacking groups, 25 plus people. And like I said, my canoeing trip a few weeks back, we had 27 people out there in tandem canoes. I had 4 assistants. It's a big group. And so we're trying to get more hands on deck so we can kind of, do more trips and maybe a little bit smaller. Here's a great boundary water trip. Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yep.
Wow.
Is that the same? Okay, is that the same one? The place that you were just at? Different.
Yep,
place.
that's a different mountain. Same area. Yeah. Oh,
what have
forgot
we
about
here,
this one?
Nick? What is this?
Well, let me tell you.
Let me tell you.
So, when you're in the Amazon jungle and you're out hunting monkeys with local Matisse tribe, and you can't find the monkeys, you switch up to electric eels.
Wow.
So we were down the Amazon back.
She's speechless.
we're in the Amazon jungle. That's me and Joe Flowers. So we're down there, and what happens is we go down there during the dry season, and there's these big kind of holes in the ground where maybe trees have fallen over, or just like these swampy little areas that are full of really muddy, murky water. Yeah. And as we're out there hiking around looking for monkeys, the Matisse, we get up to these swampy areas and they look at that little pool of water. And after a few minutes, you see a little head pop up, get some air. So electric eels, they're air breathing fish, and they see this little head pop up, and then one of them will go grab a stick and take the machete and make sharpen the end of it. And they'd stand there and just wait. And when the thing would come up for another breath of air, they'd stab it in the head. And some of these 6 feet long and 30 pounds. And,
holy smokes.
Yeah.
So do you eat them?
Yeah. We brought them back to camp. They're electric eels, so they make sure that they're super dead. We bring them back to camp.
Just dead, but super dead.
Yeah. Definitely. We'd bring them back to camp along with all the other fish that we'd catch down there, and just they throw it over the coals and just kind of slow smoke it all day. Real oily.
Nick, what are we doing? What are we doing with the monkeys? Are we eating those too? You can say this is just a camping show.
Now I feel uncomfortable having my cat
All
around.
right. Yeah. So the Amazon trip, we spent time with the Matisse tribe and a few other representatives from a few other tribes as well. Yeah. And one of the things that they eat a lot of down there are monkeys. Just like they're like squirrels up here. They're everywhere. They're easy to hunt. They use poison darts and blowguns.
Oh wow!
And
it's just like on Gilligan's Island, man, with the darts and the right. I remember
the blowguns are pretty intense. I mean, they're like 12 feet long.
Wow.
It's pretty incredible. So we don't hunt the monkeys. When we're down there, they'll invite us. Every morning we go out there early. A couple of us go out there and kind of join them on one of these hunts. And in a few years back, we were very successful. There were monkeys everywhere, and we had lots of monkey meat. So they smoke them up. They'll cook them, boil them, etc. And on this trip, not so much monkey, a lot more electric eel, a lot of fish, a lot of really good fishing.
Okay. So you said the monkeys are like squirrels. How big are they? Are they the size of squirrels or?
A little bit bigger, but yeah. I mean, they're not huge, and the Matisse they don't really target any specific species. I mean, they get what they got up there. There's howler monkeys and squirrel monkeys and things like that. They're, the ones that we had were pretty small, but they'd smoke them up, and then whatever wasn't consumed, they at the end of our trip they would just take it back home. So it's a little different. It's a little culture shock.
Yeah.
So. Hey, real quick, what direction do you see things moving like as you move forward? I know we got some more pictures left, but I'm gonna ask you that.
Yeah.
Like with these trips like this, I mean, are you doing more of the same? Or are you going to be doing something a little differently, or what?
Yeah. Well, right now, as I said before, I'm trying to get some more hands on deck. We're trying to get some more local guides to run local trips. We have a ton of places that we are ready to take people around the world. I absolutely love the Midwest. And I love our trips here. I'll be backpacking next week, and folks will think, well, that must be boring compared to Peru. I love all of it. But again, as I said, I'm just one person. So we're trying to expand our team a little bit. We'd like to get, maybe 4 or 5 international trips going every year. In addition to our current local trips, we'd like to get more beginner trips out there for backpacking, more beginner canoe workshops, things like that. So we're just trying to get more of what we've got going on right now. We're trying to just a few more international places each year added to our list, and then more local stuff. Yeah. So, and then as far as the food thing, that's going to be growing into its own sort of venture kind of over here. There's after word got out a month or two ago about my freeze-dried foods, I've been getting bombarded with a lot of interest. A lot of expeditions from other people traveling in other parts of the world are asking for some bulk meals for their stuff.
Yeah,
so
you're like your own catering service.
Yeah.
I can see why they're interested, man. So yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And we also started manufacturing some of our own gear this past winter for winter camping. There's a lot of really fantastic manufacturers here in the Midwest, and we use a lot of locally made stuff. But we found that there's some things that we just can't seem to find, so we're starting to make a few things here and there. So people just have to stay tuned. And
definitely. Let our audience learn more about all of your future endeavors and everything going on at Now Outdoors, and follow you on social media, of course.
Yeah, we've got a Facebook page and Instagram that's being regularly updated. If you go to our website, nowoutdoors.org, we have all of our current trips are posted on there. We are adding a few more things this summer, kind of last minute. We're going to try to get another beginner weekend paddle trip probably for July. And then we should have our whole entire winter schedule up by the end of this month. So the winter workshops, the snowshoe trips in the Boundary Waters, northern Wisconsin, all that stuff should be up by the end of June.
Nick, I know. Okay, I'm gonna ask you this before we sign off here. And by the way, I appreciate. We've skipped a few pictures, but we're running out of a little time. But
that's fine.
I'm gonna ask you this: how would you describe electric eel and monkey if you had to compare it to some common food? Anything close, or is it just totally no? Whole different ballgame.
Monkey tastes like pork, hands down.
Really?
Unless it's smoked, then it tastes like a turkey leg,
it tastes like smoked pork. No, turkey leg.
I would say, like, is it gamey? How does it taste?
Nope, it's pretty good. It's pretty
Wow.
good. It tastes just like
Okay.
pork.
And
Pork
and
or
what about like the texture? You know, is it gummy,
pork.
Yeah,
just like
Nope.
pork?
Yeah.
really.
I'd have to try some.
Because we're going
Yeah.
to talk about this off the air, and I figure we just might as well put this on the show and let's talk about it here because I'm sure there are other people that are curious. How about the electric eel? Oh, go ahead.
Well, I was going to say there's something I learned about monkeys, monkey meat, this past fall that I think the world needs to be a little bit aware of.
Yeah. Sure.
Years and years and years ago, when the early missionaries went to the jungle to study these people, they wrote journals and they wrote notes and they drew pictures of what they saw. And when you put a monkey in a pot to cook it, and
Oh
these
God, what's
people
coming?
with journalists, and so you have these pictures, you have these images in these books, these journals of pots with little hands and feet sticking out.
Oh,
Looks
no.
like people.
Oh wow.
So if you've ever heard of these headhunters, these cannibals in the Amazon, that's not true.
Oh, okay.
That's where it comes from, is
Really?
misinterpretation
Oh, wow.
from these drawings. Yeah. So
See how things get started, Nick. There's no
Yep.
wonder we have some of the things that rumors flying around. Yeah.
Yeah. As far as the eel, not as great.
No.
At least when we ate them that time of year, they were very oily.
Yeah.
Not super great. No,
Not even
when you can.
like not fishy.
Mm.
Worse than that, huh?
Yeah, just oil and
I'd
grease.
say stick with the Nick meals. Those are the best way to go. Am I right? Your
they're pretty
custom
good.
meals. Yeah. Stick with your custom meals. That's the best way to go. Am I right?
Bushman 613 says monkeys, the taste hangs around, and eels are shockingly good.
Yeah. Hey, that's cool.
That's funny.
That's hilarious.
I love that one.
Yeah. Well,
That's
Nick,
a great comment to end the show.
Well, Nick, we'd like to thank you for being our guest here on the Camping Show. It was absolutely a pleasure and very educational having you here with us this evening. So appreciate it.
Yes. And we'd also like to thank our sponsors for bringing you tonight's show: Campground Views, Rutabaga Paddle Sports, and of course, Novacraft Canoe.
Be sure to tune in for next week's episode, How and Where to Camp for Free, with our special guest, John Soares.
Until then, thank you so much for tuning in tonight to the Camping Show.
This is CW Getz.
And I'm Bianca Cahill.
Reminding you,
Learn more.
do more. See you next week.
So long.